Have you ever heard of a colony that completely vanished without a trace? Over 400 years ago, 115 people disappeared from an island, leaving behind only one mysterious clue. What happened to them? Where did they go? Today, we're exploring the mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. The lost colony of Roanoke is one of the biggest mysteries in American history. It all began in the late 1500s, when England, led by Queen Elizabeth I, wanted to establish a permanent settlement in the New World, what is now the United States. At the time, Spain was the most powerful country in Europe, and they had a strong presence in the Americas. England wanted to compete with Spain and gain wealth and power by claiming land in the New World. In 1584, Queen Elizabeth gave Sir Walter Raleigh, an explorer, permission to set up an English colony. Raleigh sent a group of explorers to North America, and they landed on Roanoke Island, located off the coast of what is now North Carolina. This first group didn't stay long, but they reported that the land was fertile and full of resources. In 1585, Raleigh sent another group of around 100 men to establish a colony on Roanoke Island. These men had high hopes for creating a successful settlement, but things didn't go as planned. They struggled to grow food and had trouble with the Native American tribes in the area. Relations between the English settlers and the local tribes worsened, and conflicts broke out. After about a year, the colonists gave up and returned to England. Despite the failure of the first colony, Raleigh was determined to try again. This time, in 1587, he sent a larger group of 115 people, including men, women, and children. John White, an artist and map maker who had been on the first Roanoke voyage, was appointed the governor of this new colony. The second group of colonists arrived on Roanoke Island in July 1587. They planned to settle farther north in the Chesapeake Bay area, but for some reason they decided to stay on Roanoke Island instead. The colonists quickly began to rebuild the fort that had been left behind by the first group. At first, things seemed to be going well, but soon they faced many of the same problems as the first group of settlers. They struggled to grow enough food and had trouble with the Native Americans. When John White finally returned to Roanoke Island in August 1590, he was eager to see his family and the other settlers. But when he arrived, he was met with a shocking sight. The colony was completely deserted. All of the buildings had been taken down, and there was no sign of the settlers. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan carved into a wooden post, and the letters Crow carved into a tree. White believed that the settlers might have moved to nearby Croatoan Island, where a friendly Native American tribe lived. However, bad weather prevented him from searching the island, and he was forced to return to England. John White never saw the settlers again, and their fate remains a mystery to this day. Even though we may never know the true fate of the lost colony of Roanoke, its story remains an important part of American history and one of the earliest unsolved mysteries in the nation's past.